Christine from Hollis Hands Create, and welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch primarily, and also some other crafty endeavors that I will throw in from time to time, some quilting, crochet, things like that. Today we're going to talk primarily about cross stitch. I've got some whips to show you, some finely finished objects. I've got a little bit of haul, and we're going to talk about my trip up to Stitch Camp in Spring Green, which was my first time going. And that's about it. So let's dive right in. First, if you are a subscriber or someone who just wandered into my space here, thank you so much for being here, and I hope that if you are new, you'll find some inspiration and maybe want to stick around, subscribe. If you are a return viewer, thank you again for coming back to visit with me. It was very nice to go through comments and read some of the lovely things that people had to say of my last video. I really appreciate it, and that's part of what keeps me coming back. So let's see what's been going on. My last video, I believe, was May 20th. And I was there primarily to, show you a few things, but also talk about the kickoff of my Hollis's Summer Holiday SAL, which this is the 7th year, I believe. And I'll show you my progress on my stitching for that SAL here in just a little bit. We've been busy prepping. My husband is currently in Italy retrieving my daughter and her 3 youngins. Alaska, who is 5, Diana is 3, and Zakeo is 1. And so Brittany would have her hands full trying to come over with 3 kids, a stroller, suitcases, and 2 car seats. So he flew over on Friday and has spent a lovely weekend with them, and they are flying back tomorrow. So very excited. We will be starting our July 1st with a full house, and I'm really happy about that. So let's move on. I've got a lot to do, and I'll try not to say very much. Someone pointed out that I say too many times. I will try to watch that. Okay, one of the things I had promised you that I talked about that I had stitched in my last video was Liberty Trio, and that was from the House of Stitch and Stash, Rika. And it is now fully finished, so I will show you. I sent it off to my finisher and asked for a flat fold, and I thought she did a lovely, lovely job. It's beautiful. If you look at this pattern, I did darken up the blue. I chose a blue from Color and Cotton, and I forgot to pull it. I don't remember if I actually told you what I used in the last video or not when I was doing the wrap up of this particular project. But anyway, I think it just came out really beautiful. And I'll try to insert a picture of where I have it inserted into my patriotic decor. But it is really a beautiful stitch. So that one is finished, yay. And these next 2 I had stitched prior and ordered frames and was able to get them pinned and fitted. The first one is Liberty from With Thy Needle and Thread. And this is the frame that I ordered from Art to Frames. I thought it had just kind of the perfect color. This is, kind of a subdued, not super bright design pattern, and I wanted something kind of shiny but not super shiny, and this frame I thought worked perfectly for it. So I got it all pinned and inserted, and in here the only thing I have left to do is actually just put the paper across the back. I have the hanger already attached, and it's just lovely. And my last one that I had ordered a frame for, this has also been stitched for a little while, sitting in the finishing pile. I'm trying to get my FFO pile also eliminated. And that is Rejoice, Always Rejoice. This pattern is from La Di Da. And this is the frame that I chose for it. Again, one that I, pinned, stretched, pinned, and framed. And it also just needs the paper put across the back. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to hang this one just yet. I may have to do some juggling, or it could stay downstairs. I'm not sure yet. I have to find a good spot for it. But if you were to see this chart, you might not necessarily choose it to stitch. But Tara from Sully Stitches, she and I, she joined me at Market a couple of years ago, and we were in one of the designer's rooms, and this model was hanging on the wall, and we both were really drawn to it and just loved it, and so stitched it. Gorgeous, and I'm very happy with that frame. I have found art to frames to be a very economical way of doing some of my own framing, because if you've got a lot to be done, framing wise, it can be, pretty pricey, right? So there are some things that I still send out for framing, but there are a lot of things that I want to have framed that I decided I could learn to do this. And I did several years ago, learn to do the pinning and the stretching. And if you look way back on Kitten Stitcher, she did a video, boy, it's got to be several years ago now, on pinning and stretching and framing. So if you're interested, you could always look for that. And I'm sure there are other tutorials as well. So those were my FFOs. I'm going to jump right into whips. I don't have a tremendous amount of whip work to show you, because I've been primarily working on my summer sow. But I did revive my one stitch a day, which sometimes is one stitch when I remember, or one thread a day, and it's become a one thread when I remember. But I have found when I'm really concentrating on one project, I do like to have that little bit of variation. So this is an easy way for me to work this back in. Plus, if I don't ever get this going, it's never going to get finished. So it's Long Dog Samplers, and this is just my, it's a PDF purchase, so it's in black and white. I didn't use the ink. So it's Long Dog Samplers Paradigm Found. I had kind of set as a goal for myself quite a long time ago that I wanted to stitch a long dog, a heaven and earth design, a really big sampler, and I have His Eyes on the Sparrow from Heartstring as a work in progress. And there was another one that I kind of always wanted to stitch as well. And so that's my long dog sampler choice. And I have shown some of the others along the way. At some point, I will pull out my Heaven and Earth and show that. It's a Christmas design, and I will show that too. Maybe when we get a little closer to Christmas and I pull out some of those things. But I'm going to show you this here real quick. It's a large piece, as is typical of long dog. And here it is. Hopefully you can see all of that. See where I am over this corner. This corner will go just over a little bit and has the word charity above it, and that will be to that corner. So I have done, this is the top to bottom, and the main reason I wanted to get that done is because this was like a bed sheet. I had a full yard, I believe, I started on. And so I needed to get it cut. So I got to the top so that I could cut it where I needed to cut it across and lose some of the weight. You can see it's still a pretty large piece of linen. It is Lakeside. And oh my, I have forgotten. I want to say it's pecan butter, I believe. But it's really beautiful. I'm using, I'll show you here the thread from Gentle Arts. I am using Current. And I will put this up against that. If I hold it like that, you can see the variation in the stitching there with the letters. Goes from a really deep red to a burgundy color. It's really beautiful. And I have found that with a project where you're stitching, you know, one thread a day, it's nice if you're doing something in just one thread, monochromatic, because then when you are trying to do the one thread, for me, I mean, other people might not find it, you know, difficult at all. For me, it's easier if I'm just sticking with that same thread. I'm not having to, you know, look to see what's the next thread, or I'm stopping at some point in the middle of a motif, you know, whatever, however. But anyway, that's just the way it is easiest for me. So that's my project for my one thread a day. The next one that I'm doing that is a specific time of the month, and that is my 24th, 25th Season's Greetings from Shakespeare's Peddler. Last year I did the Noel sampler and stitched it from Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread, and it turned out so nicely, and I was able to get it finished by December. So I started this one this last December on the 25th, and as soon as I saw this was exclusively at the Silver Needle in Tulsa. I jumped on and ordered it, and this is my progress so far. And this is also on a lakeside linen. And you know, I left my project cards in the bags, and I'm not gonna dig to pull them out, but I believe, well, it's definitely a lakeside. I just don't remember which one. It looks a lot like this other one. It could also be pecan butter, because that's my favorite. And I find that if you're doing something that has any kind of reds or pinks or whatever, that particular linen just really sets it off very well. But this design to me was very lakeside worthy. And I believe since I last showed this to you, I finished the teacup. I know I added in this rosebud and this foliage here. And I believe I did just some extra work on the bottom. Can you see that? Am I holding it where you can see it? It's definitely a beautiful design. You'll notice mine is a little more, the reds maybe are a little more punched up. I just went through my stash and picked all kinds of reds, and I think I even swapped out a couple of greens, mostly not because I wanted to, you know, completely change the design, but it's done in a lot of pinks, and I kind of like mine with a little more red, especially in those peppermint candies. I wanted those to be red and white, not pink on white. So I just pulled a bunch, and I'm actually, as I'm stitching, writing it down because I have had a couple of people ask for what threads I'm doing. So when I get to the point where I have everything fully, you know, chosen, then I'll list that, or I'll also maybe put it on my, you know, my next Flosstube so that I can show you guys. So that's my 24th, 25th of the month, at least the 25th for sure. I may have to bump to the 24th and 25th to get this one finished. So because a lot of my time is being used up with my holiday summer sal, I picked a design that's, I may have bit off a little more than I can chew, but we shall see. So next, Live on Little. This is the other one that I really would love to get finished. Don't know if it'll happen, but I really would love to get this finished by Labor Day. Of course, it's I just would like to have this one finished. I received it at a retreat. I think probably, well, if I look at the back, it might give me the, yeah, 2021. I think it's past time to have this one done. I took this, I had it prepped and took this with me to Spring Green for Stitch Camp because I had a lot of fill-in that I could do, and I found that at retreats it's much easier to do fill-in and make less mistakes. So, since I showed this to you in May, I filled in the blue here. I believe I may have finished the waves. I can't remember exactly, but I did put in all this blue. I got this sail finished, started on this sail, and I think there was something else that I might have filled in as well. It seems like, I guess maybe it was some of this green grass that I got started on. And I'm stitching this on a 46 count Victorian motto. I believe it's called Classic Sampler. And this is beautiful, but it needs to get finished. Paulette was at the Spring Green retreat that I was just at, and I told her, I said, you're killing me. This house, or all these tiny little bricks, and the color changes. It's crazy. But I'm getting there. I am getting there, so I'm very happy with it. I just want to have this finished. On my wall. On my wall. Here's the lovely thread palette that goes with it. Beautiful threads. It's just a beautiful nautical type design without being overly nautical. I just love it. Oh, and you might have noticed, I guess I should explain that I don't have all the water with the, what are they? Lobsters, whales, and a mermaid. I don't have those, and I'm not going to add those. So I am just doing a couple of strands straight across in the ocean color, and that is it. My friend Ginger Scholl, who she finished hers way long ago, we had talked, and she kind of wanted to do that same thing, and when she finished hers, it confirmed for me that that's how I wanted to finish mine as well. So that's how I will be doing it. And the last thing that I have been working on, what did I do with the card? Oh, here it is. There we go. Is my Sal. It's the hashtag Hollis Summer Holiday Sal. Starts Memorial Day through Labor Day, and you'll see I have in there hopefully. And it's just a goal. It's not an imperative, right? It's just a goal. So far, I've been able to complete that goal each year. But we shall see. This year I selected A Worthy Patriot from Plum Street Samplers. As you can tell, I do stitch a lot of Paulette's designs. She and I have a real shared love of American history. This came out at market this year, and I immediately was like, I looked at the model in her room, we talked about it, and I was like, well, that's what I'm going to have to stitch this year. I have shared a couple of progress updates on my Instagram. If you follow me, I do have two Instagrams. One is kind of my personal, so it's McMomma Stitches, MCMOMMA Stitches. And the other is the same as the channel and the shop name, Hollis Hands Create. So here's my progress. It is stitched on 40 count coffee stain from Cedar River Linens, and I am using the called for threads. I should have gone over here to do the Marquis of Lafayette, and I just wasn't feeling I wasn't feeling it. I thought, you know what, I'm going up. So I went up And you can see there's the bottom of Washington's boat is all in there. Ooh, and I may sneeze, so I'm going to hide my head here. Ooh. You know how you get that feeling in your nose? I think there's something you're supposed to do to be able to stop that, but I don't know that it's healthy to do that either. So I hope it's light enough. I am stuffed into the corner of my craft room because right next to me is the crib for Zakeo. So we have it all. I had to do some major, I wouldn't say childproofing, but definitely lifting a lot of things, putting things away, and we collapsed my big cutting table because it's like it has leaves on both sides that, you know, extend up, and it's on rollers, and so you can, you know, push it. So I have one side down pushed up against this wall in the corner here, and so I'm kind of filming in the corner. I've been relegated to the corner, but I'm excited to have little Zachy. So we wanted to float his crib because he's 15 months old. We wanted to float it in the middle of the room so that he could not reach any of the things that I have hanging on walls or, you know, up on, you know, specific things for him to be able to grab. So we have those little door protector handle things that slide on the handles, and you have to be able to get your fingers in and really to open the door. We have it on both sides of the door that comes into the room, as well as the opposite side coming in from the bathroom, so that the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old can't get in here as well. So Brittany will be, you know, or an adult will be able to come in and to get Zachy, but not the little ones, because I can tell you right now they would be right into all this stuff. So they will come in only with one of us adults. But so anyway, again, I'll just show you that one more time. Hopefully you can see it well. I really love it. It's beautiful. So there you go. There are all of my whips, my works in progress. And I'm going to kind of reset here just a bit. And I will, let's announce the project bag giveaway. And I had 2 left over from last time that I'm going to try again to give away. Hopefully I will get those winners' responses, and we'll try to give those away as well. But first up was the one I showed you last time in May, and that's this lovely project bag that was made by Los Hills Needleworks. Gorgeous. Very nice bag. And the winner of this one is Janice Harrell, and I believe it's 2109. Gosh, I can't read my own handwriting. It's Janice, Janice, Harrell, Harrell, 2109. Janice, congratulations on winning the project bag. Please email me with your address, and that email address is in the box below. So that's the project bag. The patriotic book. This one is going to go to Stamp with Periwinkle. Stamp with Periwinkle. And I meant to write that on here so that I will. So again, if you will email me, I will get this lovely book right out to you ASAP. And the last thing was the little linen pack, the 30 count linens from the Primitive Hair, along with some Gentle Art threads, shortcuts that I picked up at Market to be able to give away. And this will now go to Stitchin' Frog. And it's STITCHN as in Nancy, Frog, F-R-O-G, Stitchin' Frog. So that's the linen and threads. again, congratulations to those three. Please email me at the email address in the box below with your address, and I'll get those out to you ASAP. Okay, I am going to have a couple of things to give away this time. Now, I will try to be back at the end of July, possibly. Could be mid-August. We are leaving on July 31st and going on a family vacation. We rented a big Sprinter van, and we are going to be going to Long Beach Island in New Jersey, LBI, as it's most commonly known. And very excited about that. Our kids love LBI. It's where we did a tremendous amount of vacationing when they were kids. My husband grew up there in the summers. His aunt had a beautiful house there. And then he had just lots of friends who, you know, families also had houses. And so he spent tons of time there. We love it. So that's where we're headed at the end of July. It's going to be, you know, a little nuts with all the kids in the house. Not something Grandmama's used to. So I am going to be spending a tremendous amount of time just doing things with the kids. We have a whole docket of activities and all things to do with them. So I'm very excited about that. But I will try to get back. I'll show you the giveaways here in just a minute. I am going to show you the projects and things, talk about Stitch Camp. And you've probably already watched several videos. I know I watched Lori from Textilist, and she did a really nice recap. I think I've seen a couple of others come through. I'm not sure if Lisa has done hers, but I know she was videoing in the shop to either do a story or put it onto her Flosstube as well. But I'll just do a quick run through of my experience. I drove from Kansas City up to Spring Green. It's about a 6-hour drive. And the friends that I was staying with, we were staying in the apartment above the shop. That was great. It was a lovely group. We had 7 ladies, and I roomed with Katrina Devine. She's a good friend and sweet lady. And you have 2 people in each of the 2 rooms, and in the 3rd room, there's room for 3 ladies, and you've got 2 full baths. It was a very comfortable experience, and we enjoyed it thoroughly. I will say it did rain every day but one, so that was a little, you know, a bit of a bummer, but it was fine. It ended up being fine. The first day, we got up there on Tuesday. Everybody arrived on Tuesday. Retreat didn't start until Thursday. So Tuesday evening, we just had a really nice dinner and chatted and stitched, and it was, you know, rested from our trip. Wednesday, we did quite a lot of shopping, not only in the store below, but Country Sampler is the store, which maybe I didn't mention. Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. And there are 3 quilt stores that were in the area that we also visited. That was a lot of fun. We did get marooned in one of the quilt stores for just a little while because they had a severe thunderstorm blow through, and it was like, I don't know, 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. And so we were in that store for just a little longer than we had anticipated, but we were able to finally, you know, get out of there and head on to a couple other stores. And so that was fun, just kind of getting out and about and enjoying walking through and looking. And I'll show you a little bit of the haul that I got from some of those in just a bit. And then retreat day started on Thursday. And we started with Kimberly from Samplers Not Forgotten. And she gave us this absolutely beautiful Brave Hearts sampler, which is gorgeous. And I have inserted, or will insert, pictures of these, of the models, which always look, you know, 3 million times better than the picture of the design. But, and I'm not taking everything out because it's a full kit, and so hopefully I can get that where you can see through the plastic really well. Michelle, who is part of our group, she started the little pin cushion, pin keep, and finished it Saturday night I think around midnight. She was determined she was going to finish that, and so she did, and it turned out really beautiful. So that was our first design from Kimberly. She also gifted us with these beautiful scissors from the Scissorist. Gorgeous. That is a very, very nice gift. So I've been waiting to show those, and then I'm going to put them back here with, maybe you can see which side I'm supposed to be on here. I think this side. I have quite a few scissor blocks and scissor stands that are back here with all of my, you know, my Kohanas and different ones, the doves and my stork scissors and all kinds of them. But anyway, so I will add those, and I pull them out now and again and use them. So that was just a lovely day, you know, chatting with Kimberly. She's just such a nice lady. And so we spent the day with her. On Friday, we had the morning with Shakespeare's Peddler, Teresa Vanette, and she had her project in this beautiful box, Sweet Land of Liberty. And so you pop open the box, and you've got all the goodies for this gorgeous sampler. Teresa's one of my favorite designers as well. She's really so creative, and she's such an interesting person. I like hearing her talk. So that, and again, I'll have, you know, a picture of the model. And then she gave us a sampler snippet called Sweet Charlotte. That I believe this is from a full sampler. And it is gorgeous. And look at that embroidery. And again, all the goodies, plus the erasable marker to be able to mark, to be able to do all of the placement for your embroidery. Gorgeous. So that was just an extra special little gift from Teresa. We had her in the morning on Friday, and in the afternoon, she was wandering the room. She didn't just leave, but we had also 2 pop-up shops. Elizabeth from the Dames of the Needle was there with her linens and trims and things that she does. And we had Rachel from Needle and Flax, and she had a lot of her linen, which I actually didn't really buy any of those linens. I have just about probably every color that Rachel has in my stash already. And so when I was looking through, I looked, and then looking at my X-Stitch app with my inventory and my linen, I didn't really need anything. Isn't that crazy to actually say that? But I'm saying it. So then we wrapped up with my good friend Paulette, who gave us this beautiful bag. It's like a denim look canvas bag or twill bag. Plum Street Samplers. And she presented the American Manor, which is gorgeous. Let me actually pull this out because I want to put it up closer so that you can see. I do have a picture of the model, but I just kind of want to point out a couple of things. This is a beautiful poppy border. And can you see the ghosting of the design, this like stars in the house? I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's beautiful. She has a real talent for, you know, building in motifs into her houses and things like that. And you've got the lady up on the Widow's Walk. I don't know if you can see her up on the Widow's Walk. Just lovely little touches to the sampler. Again, called American Manor, and came with linens and threads, all the goodies, and also the little floss cards. And then as an extra little, she gave us a needle roll that you could stitch as well. Isn't that sweet? Mini manor roll. So that was really sweet. And just, you know, for patriotic, which was the theme, you couldn't hardly beat the 3 designers that we have, or we had, I should say, be there to give us and share, you know, their talents with us with these just beautiful designs. It was really nice, really nice. So those were the projects that we received. I'm trying to stack things so I don't have like a major avalanche here. And then the rest of the time was shopping, and some more shopping. Though we did have, this was at our, here's my name on my little card. This beautiful little tin box was at everybody's place when we arrived on the first day. It's gorgeous. And we had little things like the little duck and an eagle and needles and just all kinds of goodies. More gloss drops. And each day this had something different in it, which was fun. And each day we also had more and more things that arrived. I don't remember who everything came from, so I'm not going to point out anyone specific because I would miss someone and then that would be bad. So this was a particularly lovely gift, all tied together. So we have little Ort and the scissors with the little fob. Isn't that sweet? That was particularly lovely. From my Big Toe Designs. Look at those. Gorgeous pins. Needle minder. Jar of buttons. More bling. USA, more bling. Little perforated design with a God Bless the USA charm. Beautiful pin. Postcards. Stickers. Threads. Little thread mat. More pins. And gorgeous project bag with a notepad and pen. Patriotic. Isn't that sweet? Very nice. So, like I said, there was just, you know, a plethora of goodies that, you know, seemed to arrive. A few of these things are also things that were given to me as we traded gifts with our table mates, which my table mates were also my roommates. So we kind of did ours up in the apartment, which was a lot of fun, and everybody was doing a lot of oohing and ahhing, and it was just really, really lovely. So very nice. You always come home with just lots of goodies. Okay, so I'm going to show you just a little bit of the haul that I did come back with. A little bit of linen. So I got some Wabi Sabi. This is called Earl Grey. Now, when I do see something from Wabi Sabi is the line of linens from Kitten Stitcher. She just does a lot. Her sons actually do this, Graham and Harrison, and they do a lot of just dyeing, but you're not going to be guaranteed that you can get this color again. So I think Graham Cracker may be the only one that they continued to produce because it's been used in designs. But so when I see one that's really a good color that I like and I see it's a Wabi Sabi, I grab it because it may not come around again. This one is Queenie. which I thought was a very nice, little bit darker gray, but not too dark, not like, you know, the Earl Grey. This one is a Seraphim. This is Boston. And Boston is what I'm stitching my America 250 piece on. But again, this is one that when I see a really good piece of it that I really like the modeling, the color, and things like that, I go ahead and I get it. And then this one is also from Seraphim. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And this one is called Nantucket Eve. Oh, I absolutely love this. I got a fat half of this because I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but I'm going to find something. But it is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color. So that was really beautiful. I did pick up from Not Forgotten Farm the Country Sampler kit for John. So I would love to stitch this for Thanksgiving. I don't do a tremendous amount of Thanksgiving stitching, but I do like to have little things around the house to fill in with other, decor. But anyway, can you see that? Maybe I'm holding things not quite so close as they should be, but that's John. So I did pick that up. Jeannie has her new line, her new quilting line that is coming out, fabric line, and I believe it drops in July. And so we had the opportunity to look at the line and do pre-orders if we wish, but there were also a few things that were made. And this bag was made from one of the cheater quilts, or convenience fabric. And I absolutely loved this, and it came also with just a little needle book, thread bed kind of situation. And so I did purchase this. Again, isn't that sweet? I love it. So I did get that from her line. So be watching for that if you're interested. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous line. Okay. Everything else that I did, and I'm not going to show you all of it, but I am going to show you a few things. Some of this I have to pull out to kind of... Okay. So this is one of the quilts that was on display. It's called Picnic Point. And if you get the Country Sampler newsletter, which I believe she sends out like once a week, you will see in the shop pictures this particular quilt displayed. And so I picked up the kit. Love it, love it, love it. I like to do hand piecing, and this is what I got for the backing. And so this particular design lends itself very well to doing hand piecing. So I'm pumped about that. And this next one is called Peppermint Lane. And I really super love this. Can you see those peppermints in there? Oh, I love that. And it's funny, all these colors just reminded me so much of the Season's Greetings with the little peppermints and that kind of thing in it. But so here are the fabrics that go with it, all lovely done in a nice little kit. Here's the backing that I chose from that Peppermint Lane fabric line. So that one I picked up. I also got, this is just a small 24 by 36 called Farmer's Daughter. Now again, you would look at that picture and be like, but look at these fabrics. Oh, when I saw the actual piece and the fabrics, and this is what I got for the backing, I was like, oh, I gotta have that. This one I will skip for now. I did get quite a few just patterns that I was, you know, from several of the stores. This isn't all from Country Sampler, but I thought this one was really cool. Skip to Maloo. That's a really neat one. And Spring Harbor. This one is 21 by 51, so nice runner. This one was cool. Around the Garden again. It's a 26 by 26. I like to make these and, you know, put them on for like table toppers and things like that. This one, my friend Pat and I both got it. She's been coveting it for several years and just introduced me to it. It's 42 by 48, called Woodland Wonders. And you might be able to see the quilt a little better there. And it's done with these lovely peaches and greens and just pinks, kind of not a real pink, but, you know, corally pink. And I get this for the backing. That one I may actually try to get started and maybe finish while the kids are here, because that will be for them and they can take it back with them. And then little Diana baby, I made a rag quilt for Christmas for Alaska, and she loves it and does not want to share it. And it's all in a lot of pinks and grays and creams, because pink is her favorite color. Diana baby loves the reds and purples. So I did pick up these Fat Eighth bundles of Forest Glen by Renee Nanneman, which are more in the purples and that kind of thing. And so with rag quilts, you know, the kids can drag them around. It can be washed over and over. It's, you know, they're not going to hurt them. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to definitely get a rag quilt done for Diana baby while she's here. And then there will be no more fighting. I also picked up this beautiful meadow flowers. And again, I'll show that to you on the back. I know it's probably really hard to see these very well. And I hope I'm not rustling too much for you. But look at this. Oh, green is my favorite color. And I love this. And this one also lends itself very well to hand piecing. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I got that. This one, it really is just, it's like it's 4 yards for backing. I didn't buy a backing while I was there because I think this one can really easily just be some kind of a neutral, you know, backing. My grandma used to just use bed sheets for her backing. She would just go and buy, you know, whatever size the quilt was going to be, buy a plain flat sheet, and that's what she used for backing. So a couple of my quilts that I made a long time ago, that's what I did. I just bought flat sheets. So that's because that's how she taught me. And she's the one who taught me to hand piece. And I still love it. I like doing that. I do have difficulty sitting at the sewing machine for very long, as I have some lower back issues on my right side, and it really begins to hurt. So I like using my hands. Anyway, okay, that was a lot of haul. Sorry about that. That's the highlights. There's a little bit more, but I'm not going to show you every little piece. So thank you for watching that. I appreciate that. Let me now share the new giveaways with you, and then we'll wrap this one up for today. I've got quite a few more things to get done before the kids get here tomorrow night. They will be leaving Milan. I believe their flight gets out at like 9 a.m. Milan time. They're 7 hours ahead of us. So when they arrive tomorrow evening, it'll be 8:45 Central Time where I am. And so they will have been doing like, I don't know, 17 hours of traveling, something like that. They're going straight from Milan to Atlanta and then Atlanta here. So I'm just getting everything ready so that they're going to be, you know, having some severe jet lag, especially the babies. So I'm hoping that they're able to sleep some on the plane and it won't be too bad for them. But anyway, so I do have some things to get done here. All right, first giveaway. I'm going to give this set of the Bent Creek Flares. They have the sweetest line. It's called the Flare line. And they have a complimentary border that is included. So there's Flare Together. Isn't that sweet? Flare Smile. Imagine. And you don't have to stitch these together. You can do individuals if you wish. Sparkle. And Inspire. So I'm going to give away that set. So in your comment, please use the word flare. Writing that down to make sure I search correctly for the project word. Then the next thing I'm going to give away is from Barefoot Needle Art. This is Raven Street. It's kind of a cool, spooky design. We're starting to see in the shop that people are starting to order the next season. So we're, and also with some Christmas. I would imagine there are some Christmas and July stitchers who do ornaments and things. So we have seen a little bit of Christmas going out, but we're really starting to see the autumn and Halloween designs go out the door. Again, this is called Raven Street from Barefoot Needle Art. And if you are interested in this one, use the word, let's see, Raven. Easy enough, right? And then I have two from Serenita de Campagna. This one is, I believe, Autumn on the Farm. It's a nice pastoral type scene, farm scene. The pumpkins and the red barn. Really a sweet one. So if you're interested in this one, you can just say farm. And if you're interested in this one, it's Hocus Pocus. And you've got several designs that you can stitch out of this kit. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's three designs. They've stitched this Hocus Pocus in two different ways. One on the end of the roll and one is by itself. So this one is Hocus Pocus. Okay. So remember to please be 18 because you will have to give me your physical address. So, you know, no one under 18, please don't use the words giveaway or freebie. We want these items to go to stitchers who actually want them and aren't looking to just get them and resell them or whatever. And I'm looking around and I believe that that is it. I thank you so much for joining me again. I really appreciate everybody who subscribes. I had several people up in Spring Green come up to me who said that they were, you know, subscribers and watchers, and I appreciate that. One lady was surprised that I was as short as I am. Yes, I am only 5'3". I have shrunk. I used to be 5'4". I guess knee replacements and back problems and old age, right? It's just shrunk me. So I'm now, for the last 3 years, my measurement has come down to 5'3". Hopefully it's 5'3" and holding. But anyway, yes, that is me. But it was so nice to have people come up and they were just so sweet. And I appreciate that very much. And I hope that everyone has a fantastic July 4th. However you are celebrating, or even if you're not celebrating, it's the middle of the summer. And hopefully it's not too hot. We're in the mid to upper 90s for the next few days. Hence the hair is up. It's, you know, my hair is actually naturally curly. So when it's really hot like this, I don't blow it out because it's just too hot. I'm sweating by the time I would even get finished with getting my hair straight. So it is just up, and there you go. So enjoy, and thank you so much for being here. And just remember to create every day. All right, take care. Bye-bye.